Thank you for joining us on the show, Leo. Thank you for joining us on the show today.
Okay, thank you so much for having me.
Right. So, for those who have not heard about you, have never met you, describe who you are and your label.
My name is Nick Wathi.
Mhm.
Um, I'm the owner and Andromeda focus on Kenyan rock,
Right.
but we also work on other genres of music. But that's
It's the main. What first of all, how did you choose the name Andromeda? Where did that come from? And then how did you zone in on rock? It's very unique, it's very niche. A lot of producers wouldn't like necessarily veer into that, but you went into rock. So first, why the name Andromeda and how did you get into producing rock music?
well. I started the studio with my bro.
Mm,
That's called Dan, the one who came up with the name.
nice.
I don't know what he was thinking, but yeah,
Okay.
we just went with it.
Okay.
So,
I,
and the reason we when we started, it wasn't really what it started just after we 2010.
mm-hmm,
So I mean, we found jobs, came natural music,
mm-hmm.
but then I got this time I joined Parking Lot Grass.
Oh,
2010.
okay.
Yeah, I joined Parking Lot Grass as a drummer.
What?
Then yeah, they were just writing music for
Okay.
so so they were looking for a good producer, and I just saw that opportunity.
Mm.
And because my bro had actually started working on his band, working on their
Sorry, which band?
in Oath. It's called in Oath.
Okay.
I think we broke up, but it was around 2010, 11 then.
Mm.
So who was producing for them?
Mm-hmm.
So I told come we work with again. So
Mm.
that's how there it
Interesting.
was made.
Interesting. So you've always been interested in like you're a rocker through and through. That's how you managed to get into producing that.
I've always loved rock music uh, but since even before high school.
Right.
Not only that, we didn't have much access to the music.
Yeah.
But just randomly hear some music. I found myself loving it.
Mm.
But then I always had an ear for music. Always wondered how I always had an interest in sound. Naturally, I just found myself what other genres of sound, so to speak,
Right.
search and mastering.
Mm.
Yeah, that's how it happened. So we before we actually took off properly,
Mm-hmm.
obviously no one was very few people didn't get many artists. But the moment can't really recall all of them.
Right.
That broke up. There was other solo artists.
Mm.
That's basically.
Right.
I can't remember all these bands. The ones I worked with, especially between 2010 and 2013.
Mm.
Yeah, the main bands I worked with were PLG, Dove Slim, and Last Year's Tragedy.
Mm. The
The
main bands you're
main bands
working
you're
with
working
were
with were
PLG. Who?
PLG, who and who?
Last Year's Tragedy and Dove Slim.
So those are pretty big bands
Yeah.
when it comes to the Kenyan rock scene.
Mm.
How did you manage to convince them to get into your recording studio and say, "I'm the guy who got the sound for you"?
Okay. At that time there wasn't. I don't think there was. There was two guys. It was me and this guy. He's a friend of mine called Leon Malu. I think
Mm,
we were the only ones doing production, and of course my brother.
yeah.
So Leon Malu was producing for Mortal Soul, his band, and I
Mm,
think Koinange's Avengers. But I think that was way later, a bit later.
mm,
For me, when I started, it was just literally just me, if I'm not wrong. But then it
mm.
was easy to convince them because no one else was doing it, and I was actually self-promoting myself. I was talking about how I'm producing PLG. PLG promoted me, my work. The Shimon Fukoni album was pretty popular.
Yes, very popular.
Yeah, so that's how a lot of people figured that I was working on production.
So you did that entire album as Andromeda, as the label that did that particular album.
Yeah, and when I did the album, I was very green in production.
Wow.
For some reason, I felt I I thought I could pull it off, kabisa. So I did everything I could to make it sound good
Right.
at that particular time.
Well, to be honest, you did pull it off. It's still one of the some of the um biggest music that's being played everywhere till now. That's in Kenya.
Mm,
So it must have been amazing to see how far it went
mm,
as
yeah,
a first timer.
yeah, it felt very good.
Mm,
Of course, I had a few critics here and there
yeah,
saying you could have done this and this and that.
right.
But but when I was doing the album, whatever I was doing felt right for that time. So
Mm.
I went with it.
Now,
Hmm.
after that, you've been heavily tied to another prolific artist,
Hmm.
Rish,
Yeah.
who everybody's begging to come back. Now, how did you get together with her and how was it coming up together with the projects with her?
It's funny because with Trish, we used to know each other from the rock scene. We used
Mm,
to bump into each other during the rock gigs. She was playing guitar for I can't remember this band.
mm-hmm,
Yeah, but she was playing bass for them. And then we joined. There's this band we formed. Me, Rich, and this guy called Diallo. It was
mm-hmm,
called Content Maidens.
mm-hmm,
It was way before I even started doing serious production. Then around after I finished PLG's second album, I think second album, Tasket Hand, Risha
mm-hmm.
approached me. She wanted to work on a bunch of singles.
Right,
So that's how the hate song came about. Yeah, that
right.
was the first song I did with her,
Mm,
and for some reason it really took off. People really
mm,
loved it. People loved her.
mm.
Yeah.
So,
So after we did that song, like she kept coming to the studio. We worked on a few other songs, which were also very popular. So
mm,
yeah, Rich it became very popular, more popular than even every other. Maybe apart from PLG, I think the next person who was pretty popular was Rich. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yes, she was heavily, her music, her and her music were heavily accepted and loved
Mm,
throughout the scene. Of course, also watching this come forth must have been like crazy for you. First of all, like again, you've chosen this very niche kind of sound. You've chosen the rock sound, and then now all these hits are being attributed to you. I'm sure for you and your brother and Andromeda, this has must have been like a takeoff like you've never seen before. It must have been crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting knowing you're the go-to person, yeah, when
Yeah.
it comes to this. But you know, it's funny because I mean, for outsiders, they could think it's a very small, I mean, community or a
Mm,
very small, uh, I mean, and a very tiny, you know, scope of uh, work to do. I mean, they think there's very
mm-hmm,
few bands and very few artists really rock, but it's really not true. There's because I always have work. I
mm,
always get work. Uh, per month, I get enough work to keep me going, keep me going.
right.
Yeah.
Now,
And
you
uh-huh.
do live sound.
Yeah.
Um, what is your process like? Because of course, not everybody can do live.
Mhm.
Beats people make bedroom records, Zico. But how is your process like when it comes to live and producing live music for all these artists?
Well, the process is pretty much the same, honestly. You just need to understand the dynamism of sound. You just need to know how to get the right sound for the stage. You just need to know the acoustics of the stage. Just
Mm-hmm.
understand how the place is, and then you have to also study it. Be there early enough to understand the kind of sound you're looking for, how to get it working properly. Yeah, and also, it's not just me who does it. I also have to consult with people who I think are better
Right.
have better knowledge to it. And
Mm,
yeah, because it's pretty difficult to pull it off on your own. Just
mm,
like even bedroom studio work, you have to, so to avoid the problem of everything you do sounding the same or making
right.
mistakes and thinking you're doing well. You need to get a second ear out there with
Right.
someone who's also an expert. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
two heads are better than one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's how I go about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I don't think there's
And
like there's really an A B C D way of doing it.
yeah.
I think also it depends on what you want. It can be
Mm-hmm.
any, as long as it sounds good, as long as the sound is
Mm-hmm.
audible properly. I mean, as long as it doesn't hurt people's ears, as long as it doesn't cause fatigue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
Uh-huh.
uh, you have your first titled album, which was underscore the architect.
Yeah. Yeah, that was my first serious solo project.
Right. When did that come out? And how was the process for that? How did you manage to get all these amazing artists to jump onto the project? And how long did it take for you to put it out there?
Well, I'm a firm believer of miracles because
All right.
when 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 I started doing it, I didn't know I would be able to pull it off. I actually did the whole album in 10 months.
Wow.
Uh, yeah, I started in January 2016.
Mm-hmm.
Got like one guitarist to come in the studio. That was LYT's guitarist, Joseph Joseph Ongonya. I told
Mm-hmm.
him, dude, just come to the studio. I have this random idea I have. So he came, composed the first song, and it turned
Mm-hmm.
oil. So I
Mm-hmm.
was like, let me just turn this whole thing into an album.
Right.
Then I used to call people, and they were very receptive. Different
Mm.
artists, different guitarists. They came through. In fact, I had extra songs that didn't make it to the album, but the
Wow.
whole the whole album was done by October 10th. It was done.
Mm.
But but I did it. I got it to. I wanted to finish it by October because I was there was someone coming to our family, a new person, yeah, a newborn.
Oh, wow.
So I knew if I passed through that date, because that was the due date, I would
Yeah.
probably never get to finish the project. So I did my best to finish during that period. So the whole process took 10 months.
Mm-hmm.
I was just calling. There was really no plan, honestly.
Yeah.
And I didn't try and dictate the kind of themes to have in the album.
Mm-hmm.
So I told everyone I was working, just be free to bring whatever you think works. And it turned
Mm.
out great. Yeah, it turned out really well.
First of all, what a gift. As in, I'm sure like it must have been exciting playing that music in the house as the new guest arrives. And of course, jamming to your own album. That must have been super epic as well. How was it received once it came out?
It was well received, surprisingly.
Mm.
And but it was more of a surprise to people because I didn't really tell people what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
The whole process, it was like a secret.
Mm.
Then towards the end of the period of production, I had the first single. I released the first single. It was done by David Mboro of Last Year's Tragedy and Sam of Rush. It's called, I
Yeah.
think it's called, I can't recall it. Sorry.
Hey, clearly you've done
I can't I
way too
can't
many
I can't pick
projects.
it from on top of my head, but that was the first single. Then it was well received, of course.
Right.
Then the second single was by Rish, Remember
Mm.
Me. That's the one I seem to remember because it was pretty popular. It was played a lot on
Mm.
the local radio. It was called XFM. Yeah?
Right.
They played it quite a lot.
Mm.
Yeah, and I didn't expect it to pick up so quickly because it was actually one of the more random songs I did,
Mm-hmm.
and the work that went into the song was easier than the rest of the album.
Mm.
And I have to thank Mr. Amos because he did much of the guitar work in that album, and he was just available for whenever I needed him in the studio.
Mm.
Yeah.
So, who are the other instrumentalists on the projects apart from the artists themselves?
You mean underscore the architect or the new one?
Yeah, underscore.
Well, underscore the architect, there was Alistair of Parking Lot Grass. He
Mm-hmm.
did the first song. The first song, I think it was him and Saidimu of Dove Slim.
Mm-hmm.
Then, of course, Amos. Then my bro did, I think, two songs.
Mm-hmm.
He did the guitar works for two songs. Personally, I'm not very good with the instruments apart from the drums.
Yeah.
So I didn't play any guitars.
Mm.
And then, of course, there was one song which had a full band. It's called the Claymore Project. Yeah,
Mm. Mm.
yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, yeah. So pretty much it was done by Amos and Alistair, if I'm not
Right.
mistaken. Yeah.
Right. It was an incredible project. We're going to be sampling it later on in the show. But now let's delve into your new project.
Okay.
Now, give us the details on that. And please note, everybody who's listening, it's an exclusive for the search. You're hearing it here for the first time. So give us all, it's just spill all the details on it, please.
Okay. I'll do my best.
Ah,
Okay. So this new album is called Eternal.
okay.
I started working on it like, almost 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
This one was actually well prepared for. Unlike
Mm-hmm.
underscore the architect, this one was I had my mind to do a solid album.
Right.
I started on getting artists, and at first the first ideas was to get the big names in the Kenyan rock scene to do it. But then at some point I changed my mind and decided to go with very new artists that hadn't even hit the studio before.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I got them to the studio. I did a lot of guiding work with them. It was actually very fun to do for me because I enjoy the writing process. and I
Mm,
even enjoy it more when I'm working with someone who's passionate, but maybe and passionate and talented, but they don't have very good experience. So I could get them to write stuff, and then we correct it together. And a
mhm.
lot of the songs turned out to be really good. And the artists who I thought who were saying they'd never hit the studio are actually some of the best people I've ever worked with in terms of,
Yeah, nice.
yeah. And
So,
yeah.
mhm. So like, can you give us like name drop a few names of some of the artists who featured?
Well, I'll drop the one. The first one was she's called Stacy. She's calling
Okay.
herself Odi to the Blind.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the first person she was introduced. I was introduced to her by Rish. She
Oh, to
has
the
a,
blind is amazing,
yeah,
amazing artist.
yeah, she's very good. I saw her Instagram and instantly I just wanted to work
Oh,
with
she's
her.
beautiful, beautiful soul and beautiful artist. Nice.
Yeah. And then I have there's another artist anaitwa Bella
Mm-hmm.
Dome. She's
Mm-hmm.
also I was introduced to her by Heavy and the Beast Reborn. So I she told me this talented artist, can you work with her? I asked for demos and I got them, and instantly I just wanted to do something with her.
Mm-hmm.
So she laid down two songs on
Mm-hmm.
the album. Yeah. And then we have I have another one. There's Nekesa. Nekesa is
Oh wow.
also in known in the scene, but I
Yeah.
don't think she was very popular before I started working with her. I didn't
Mm,
even know her before we started working with her. But
right.
she's very good. She's very talented. She has,
Very, very talented.
mm. So some of those are some of the artists I've worked with, and of course there's a few big names in the album. A few.
Mm, mm,
We have Rafael Sipala,
mm-hmm.
formerly of PLG.
Nice.
Have we have Rish, of course. She's
Mm-hmm. Of course.
and we have Lawrence Mushemi,
Nice. Oh, I love it.
Irony Destroyed, and then we
Mm,
have Nelek. Nelek is an artist based in the US, but
mm-hmm.
he's Kenyan. He does his death metal, black metal stuff, and
Wow.
he contributed to the album. It's
Nice.
something very good sounding. Yeah.
Mm,
Mm. So those are some of the artists
mm-hmm.
who are in the album.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's the name of the album?
It's called Eternal.
Eternal.
Yeah.
And how many tracks are featured on it?
The album has 12 tracks.
12 tracks.
Yeah. So
So
that.
with
Uh-huh.
with this project, are you planning to put together music videos for some of the songs as well?
Definitely. There's already one video that we did with to the Blind, but that
Mm-hmm.
was that was that was the first song we released,
Mm-hmm.
and I just decided to do a video for it. And I was also trying my hand on video production because I hadn't done that before, and I gave it a
Okay.
try. It's on YouTube. But yeah,
Oh, so
there's,
you're the one who's shooting the video, or are you the one who's producing it?
well, well, I didn't exactly shoot the video. I just directed.
Oh, nice.
Shot by Wilson Muia. Wilson Muia is also a video. He's an audio engineer and also a video producer. So
Mm,
I work with him, and I'm hoping I will work with him on other projects. So yeah, I'm expecting to do two more videos.
mm,
One is already started. One has already been done halfway at least.
mm,
For a track called "Let Me Breathe" with
mm,
Bella. Bella and Hybrid Intuition. I don't
mm-hmm,
know if you know the artist. Is George Gashiri.
mm-hmm. Ah, nice.
Yeah. So that is the song I'm doing a video for, and of course the one with Raf.
Mm,
For it, it's called Taking Back.
okay.
Yeah.
So you've announced the dates for the 14th of February.
Yes,
Why did you choose
the
that
month of
particular
love.
day?
So I just want the album to be released on when everyone has all these nice feelings of good vibes and and
Hey, love, love,
love.
love in the air.
Yeah. So I
Uh,
want yeah, so it's just something I wanted to. I mean, it's not like the theme of the album is about, I mean, what the month is about,
yeah.
but it just felt right to release it during that day because, I mean, like I said, I just want it surrounded by good vibes when I release it.
Well, it is a good way to celebrate that particular time to be a very unique one. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. I'll definitely be putting my husband onto it. I'll be like, this is what we are going to do this year. We're listening to this album.
Nice. Thank
I
you.
am so looking forward to it. And of course, I'm looking forward to checking out the videos as well. We don't usually have too many rock videos to look at, and when they come out, it's usually a big celebration. So I'm really looking forward. The fact that you're doing three is quite a big feat. It's no small thing.
Yeah, it's not, but when you're doing something you actually enjoy doing,
Mm,
it's really not work. Can be hectic, but you don't really feel the
time it
pain.
as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, before we head out, we just want to get to know Nick Kidogo away from the music.
Ah, okay.
So, when you're not in the studio, what are you doing?
Well, I'm an audio engineer by profession. By That's my career pretty much.
Uh huh.
So I I work on audio visuals. I work on documentaries. I work on.
We're not talking about work. I'm talking about you time, Nick time. What
Oh,
does
Nick,
Nick do? Yes.
I like moving around a lot.
Hmm.
I don't like being in the house or just being stuck in the same spot.
Right.
Yeah, I move around a lot.
Hmm.
I like sightseeing
Hmm.
different places. Yeah, that's pretty much my favorite thing. So
Right.
I will devote a lot of time and resources and all that for that.
Right.
Yeah.
And what is, if you were to take someone out on a date, what would be your ideal date for a person you're taking them out for? I know you're with someone, but hypothetically, okay, your person, what's the ideal date?
Wow. You had to go there. Okay. Well, I think I would do something very cliche. I think I would probably just take them out for dinner.
For
I would do the t- tried and tested methods.
a hair?
Yeah, I would take them to a nice place because we don't do this all the time. I mean, we don't do this every day.
Uh-huh.
So that day we actually do that, but maybe take a road trip or something.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Yeah.
And lastly, if you're taking her on holiday, which one would you prefer? Beach or safari?
Safari, definitely.
Safari.
Yeah.
I think you're one of the first people usually as you jumps for safari. That's interesting.
Yeah,
Yes,
I'm
but
not
you
going
like to drive either way, so
yeah.
you don't like us to like lazing around. Sasawa, got you.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for your time, Nick. Thank you so much for giving us this exclusive. We really look forward to, of course, listening to and playing Eternal on the station. Of course, now when you're dropping the songs one by one, please feel free to drop them here first and then go to the rest.
Absolutely. And thanks for your time.
Thank you so much. Have a fantastic night. Salimia, your peoples. We'll talk soon.
Asante sana, Myra.
Thank you.
Bye.
That was Nick of Andromeda.
Album that's coming out on the 14th of February. Again, exclusively dropped here. You have found out the exclusive details to Nick Wathi's new album Eternal from the Andromeda stable. It has an amazing mix of artists are coming on for that. I cannot wait. And I love the fact that he's worked with quite a number of amazing and prolific female artists, both iconic and new on that album. We're going to be sampling music from his first album that he dropped. That was underscore the architect. We're going to be playing some music from that as we anticipate for the 14th, that is February, where we're going to be having now his new album. Let me know your thoughts on the discussion on our WhatsApp number +254 788 380030. You can also drop your comments. Hey, the Luya in me has come out. Anyway, drop your comments on the YouTube channel comment section right there. And what you're looking out for the most, you're looking forward to the most when Andromeda drop this album. Let's get back into the music. We're now going to be listening to music and the compilation of music from underscore the architect. When we come back, I'll be letting you know how many more people have also released new projects from across the world this year as we start 2024. Keep it right here on the side with your girl, Maya Maloba, the Afro Queen.